The documentary.
Yeah.
What was that experience like for you?
I felt a huge obligation to remember all the stories. You know, a lot of the stuff I'm telling you, like, people don't know the history, and I feel like it's gonna disappear with me because who's gonna keep it going?
Right.
Who's gonna pass down these stories? So especially with the Lakers and all, you know, all the background of, you know, how he purchased the team, the relationship he had with Magic, you know, the down years. It just really felt good that people wanted to share their stories, and we needed to archive it. And we won the Emmy for Best Sports Documentary, so that was pretty good.
Winning time.
What do you want to know?
How do you view it?
We don't have anything to do with it. I always thought that the NBA would be able to protect the intellectual property that was of the league and its teams. And the idea that somebody could tell our story without our permission seemed really, I really couldn't accept it. And I kept thinking that something will discourage them from pursuing it. But, you know, Adam McKay is a very successful filmmaker, and, you know, people will back what, you know, his vision is.
Did you try and shut it down?
Oh yeah, we tried for a couple of years to, you know, really leaned on, you know, the corporate lawyers.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I thought that they would be able to stop it, but, you know, I guess the explanation given to me is that it's protected under First Amendment rights, that as long as they tell the story accurately, then it's fair use. That being said, there are people who are familiar with our story that did participate and are credited in the credits, and some that aren't credited. But I made the decision to watch it because I felt, you know, I just kind of wanted to see my dad again. And John C. Reilly, I think, does a phenomenal job portraying Dr. Buss. Before the first season aired last year, the production had bought seats from a tickets broker to sit on the floor, and they put some of the stars to sit there, I guess, to generate some, you know, publicity for the airing of the show.
And John C. Reilly thought you were going to kill him, right?
Yeah, he thought I was. I literally ran into him in the chairman's room, and I had to make that decision whether I was going to shake his hand. And I decided that I would introduce myself, and he goes, you don't have to introduce yourself. I know who you are. He goes, are you here to throw me out?
Like being serious or joking?
Oh no, he was scared. And I said, no, I need to tell you something, that, you know, my dad and I would go, you know, to the movies, and I'll never forget seeing the movie Chicago. And after we watched it, my dad said, I think that guy is going to win an Oscar for this part, because he plays, when a funny guy plays sad, it's more poignant. And I never forgot that comment, and that it was about John C. Reilly. So I said, I just wanted you to know that he was a fan of yours. And I think he'd be, you know, honored that somebody whose talent he admired, is portraying him. And I think that, you know, it's kind of startling for me, because physically he does resemble my dad, and they did so much research, because in the show, my dad calls me by my nicknames, and that it's jarring for me to hear that.
Is it?
Yeah, to hear someone say Jeanie Pie, like my dad was the only person called me Jeanie Pie, and like to hear that it's crazy. And then there's one scene where, and it really was my dad. He loved to go to like hamburger joints, and then he'd like to just sit in his Rolls Royce and have a hamburger from a hamburger joint. And so there's a scene where he and Magic, are having a hamburger, kind of leaning on the Rolls Royce, and my dad, says, I'm really looking to build something special, Magic, and I'm looking for a partner. I'm looking for somebody that understands my vision. And, that's what Magic's like. I'm in, like they bond over this, hot dog, sitting and eating a hot dog in a parking lot in LA. And that was just such a quintessential LA moment. And it really was what made their bond special.
You watch it each episode at once or binge it?
Season 2, I've only seen the first episode because it kind of triggered me, and like it's hard. I go through like the loss all over again, and like there's some really happy moments, and but it's also really sad. You
watch it by yourself or with people?
I watch it usually by myself, but this season Jay actually was cast in a part. So
how did you feel about that?
Well, he came home and he said, he goes, I got offered a part in Winning Time, and
Are you like,
I go, kidding me? Like, he goes, I won't take it if it would make you uncomfortable. I go, look, you're an actor, you're trying to get your career started again. It doesn't bother me. Like you do whatever you want. You didn't write it. You're just an actor playing a part. Mm-hmm. And so he did take the part.